Our next story has far-reaching implications for the United Kingdom. Britain's last permanent military foothold in Southeast Asia is under serious threat. In fact, a new report warns that the UK's military presence in Brunei, a tiny but strategically crucial country, is at quote-unquote substantial risk due to China's growing influence. In fact, the report further states that if Beijing succeeds in swaying Brunei's leadership, the consequences could be devastating, not just for Britain, but also for the US defense of Taiwan. Just for context here, China has been vocal about invading Taiwan in 2027, which it claims as part of its territory. Now, where does Brunei come into all of this? You see, Brunei is strategically located on routes connecting American bases in the Philippines, Thailand, Singapore, Australia. If China controls Brunei, it could potentially impact these routes and could severely undermine America's strategic position in the region and even put the entire Anglo-American alliance under strain. So what is the main thing that is preventing this from happening right now? Brunei has a major British military base, home to around 900 UK troops, including a battalion of Gurkhas. For more than 6 decades now, this base has been a vital training ground for UK Special Air Service soldiers. And it's also a logistical hub for British Navy ships. But now Beijing is making its move. As per reports, China has been steadily deepening its ties with Brunei through military exercises, high-level meetings, and economic investments. Now, if Brunei were to ask British forces to leave and instead invite Chinese troops in, it would deliver a massive blow to Western interests. According to the report titled "The Geopolitical Vulnerabilities of the UK's International Military Partnerships," China has been playing the long game. The UK's military presence in Brunei has largely depended on the personal support of the Sultan, a graduate of the British Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst. The report states that with the Sultan now 78 years old and China aggressively expanding its influence, the stability of this arrangement is no longer guaranteed. The report by the Adarga Research Institute and the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change also states that the UK has minimal trade with Brunei, so little in fact that Brunei ranks as Britain's 136th largest trading partner. And by contrast, China's trade with Brunei is 22 times greater. And it's not just about trade. China has reportedly been funding roads, bridges, even a massive oil refinery in Brunei, embedding itself into the country's economy and infrastructure. In 2024, Brunei's foreign minister visited Beijing and referred to China as a quote-unquote good friend, reportedly expressing hope for China to take on a bigger role in regional affairs. So if the UK loses its military foothold in Brunei, it won't just be about losing a base, it will be about losing a critical asset in the global balance of power. The UK Navy's access to strategic waters would take a hit. More importantly, China's expanding footprint in Brunei could give it a stronger position in the South China Sea, bringing its military forces even closer. So what's the UK's plan really? Will Britain fight to maintain its military influence in Brunei? Or will it allow China to take over? Or are we simply witnessing the slow but steady erosion of British power in the Indo-Pacific region? To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We now delve into a pressing concern: the use of artificial intelligence to influence global perceptions and human minds in a way. The emergence of Chinese AI platforms like DeepSeek and the widely used ChatGPT have sparked massive debates about information control and the potential for cognitive manipulation. Traditionally, individuals sought knowledge through books and more recently, the internet. These sources, while vast, allowed readers to cross-reference and form independent judgments. However, the future points towards a reliance on AI-driven platforms for information dissemination, raising concerns about the objectivity and the integrity of the information provided. DeepSeek, a Chinese AI startup, recently launched its latest model, R1. Reportedly, it can perform on par with leading US models like OpenAI's ChatGPT while costing significantly less to develop. And now it's important to note here that all AI chatbots like DeepSeek and ChatGPT have the same data collection mechanism and collate information globally. And they all come with their own set of issues. As per reports, DeepSeek's responses are influenced by Chinese government perspectives. For example, when queried about Taiwan's status, DeepSeek asserts that Taiwan is part of China, reflecting Beijing's official stance. Moreover, DeepSeek avoids discussing topics like the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests. When asked about this event, the AI responds, quote unquote, "Sorry, I'm not sure how to approach this type of question yet." The 1989 crackdown, remember, saw Chinese troops open fire on student-led pro-democracy protesters in Beijing's Tiananmen Square, resulting in hundreds of deaths. And the issue is not just limited to DeepSeek. As per reports, both DeepSeek and ChatGPT mistakenly said Joe Biden was the US president whose term ended last week. While a 2024 study by Purdue University found ChatGPT answered computer programming questions incorrectly 52% of the time. 52%. More than half the answers were incorrect. Can you believe that? These instances basically highlight the potential for AI to, in a way, present skewed information, at times aligning with specific government narratives. According to experts, as future generations increasingly depend on AI for information, there is a risk of exposure to biased or even incomplete perspectives. The implications extend beyond individual understanding, and experts warn that future conflicts may center on information warfare, where controlling narratives becomes as crucial as traditional military might. As per reports, governments around the world are realizing the power of AI in shaping public perception. And if AI becomes the main source of information, what stops any government really from tweaking the algorithms to serve its own interests? AI platforms capable of shaping public opinion could serve as tools in these information battles. So where do we even go from here? While AI may offer advancements, it is important to approach these tools critically. It's not a substitute for critical thinking. We must be vigilant and question where our information comes from and the potential biases they may carry, and recognize the risks of allowing AI platforms to dictate what is fact and what's fiction. Because in the end, the real danger is not AI itself. The real danger is an uninformed society that blindly trusts it. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And before we get to our next story, let me ask you a question. Can you imagine babies being born without mothers? How is that even possible, you might be wondering, right? And why are we even asking that question? Now wait till you hear about what's happened. Chinese scientists have created a mouse with two fathers. Yes, a mouse with two fathers. And how did they do that? Through a series of genetic edits, basically combining genetic material from two males to create embryos that inherited no DNA from a female. Now, this breakthrough has far-reaching implications, let's tell you this. To put it simply, this is a technique that may one day allow gay men to have children biologically related to both parents. This is hugely significant. And let's also tell you that this is not the first time we are hearing about motherless mice. Last year itself, a breakthrough was presented at a conference in London. Katsuhiko Hayashi from Kyushu University in Japan spoke about it at the 3rd International Summit on Human Genome Editing. And years ago, 12 mouse pups were created after fertilizing eggs that were derived from male cells, but they could not breathe properly and did not survive. But the mice created in the breakthrough that we're talking about, that came, were actually healthy. And how were they created? By converting male cells into eggs. Basically, a skin cell from a male mouse was reprogrammed to convert it into a stem cell. And as we learned in biology lessons, male cells have XY chromosomes. Female eggs have XX chromosomes. But the breakthrough involved devising a method to do away with the Y chromosome and then replace it with an X chromosome. So it could basically become an egg. After motherless mice, will we soon see motherless babies, motherless children? Experts have cautioned that significant technical, even ethical barriers must be overcome. But these are very significant breakthroughs and developments. Imagine the implications. Gay men could have biological children in the future. All of these steps matter, and they've also meant that a kind of infertility in women could be cured. The Turner syndrome, for example, it happens due to abnormalities related to chromosomes. These breakthroughs could change the way we look at human reproduction. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.